Hello, my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am here at Sharon Nature Preserve, which is just to the east of Sharon Center, Ohio. Still Medina County, so still kind of a northeast Ohio area. Today's camera, I went classic again, Nikon FE. This is the silver version. There's black ones that are out there. Didn't have a standard 50mm for this, but I did find a Promaster Spectrum 28-70, and back again, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. Some of these third-party lenses were not made by the brands that they're showing. So this Promaster Spectrum was not made by Promaster. It was probably either a Sigma, Tamron, Ricoh, or something like that. I'd have to do some research on this particular one. And then they put their name on it and sold it underneath their name. Just so that way certain stores, would say, hey, this is our own brand. It is a multi-coated lens, so we should get some good results there. Very minimal flare. I'm going to walk down this park. Oh wait, today's film is unique. Took me a second to find some of this stuff, but it's Lomography's Purple. Now, if those people that are really into film photography know what Kodak EIR color infrared filter is, film is. You find that stuff on eBay, $50-100 a roll right now. I shot a roll of that back in the day. If I'd known, I would have collected a lot of it and resold it now. But those people that like the weird colors that the EIR gave, Lomography Purple is close to that weird effect. Now, it is a multi-rated ISO film. It is rated 100 to 400, and you kind of pick the rating that you want. Research I did and everything else says, hey, ISO 200 looks really good. If you've got a polarizer, sometimes the ISO 100 and the polarizer will get even more of a kick. But I don't have a polarizer, so I'm going to keep it at 200, kind of split the difference. All right, I'm going to walk down the path. Looks like nice gravel path, and I hear the birds, and I saw some big birds flying around, but I don't have a big lens. Maybe next time. All right, let me go get some shots. Okay, today it's an overcast day, but still very well lit. Just a soft layer of clouds covering up the sky. So I'm getting some tremendous exposures. I'm firing at about f11 and getting 500th of a second, which kind of balances with the sunny 16 rule for those people that know that. Let me see what else I can get. All right, this lens does have a macro. It'll do a 1:4 ratio, which is very common for zoom lenses. Does not have that clutch that a couple of other previous lenses I had where you push the button and it goes down even farther, maybe closer to 2.5 to 1. But 4 to 1 in a built-in zoom is about normal, and that's good for anything, let's say the size of your fist. So big flowers and still life objects and Hot Wheel, maybe a little bit bigger than a Hot Wheel car, you'd be good. If you want to get tighter, like you want to get stamps, coins, really tight into flowers, then you'd look at an actual macro lens or one of the lenses that have maybe a 1:2 ratio. Or there's other ways to get macro, reversing rings and extension tubes and macro filters. You can take a look at all of those. I've got an episode, if it's not already out, it should be coming up, where I did a reversing ring, and I do have a macro lens that I will be putting to good use shortly, as soon as some flowers bloom. All right, let me see what else I can get. Okay, so manual Nikons, the nice thing is, well, there is no real on-off switch like a couple other of these old manual cameras. However, their on-off switch is basically the advance arm. If it's recessed close up to the body, it is pretty much off. Your meter is off, can't take a photo. You pop it out and it reveals the red dot, and now that leaves you, the meter is now active. When you touch the shutter button down, you can see and take your photo in advance. So it kind of puts it into a ready position. So that's a cool thing, is it does have kind of an on-off at the arm rather than on the camera elsewhere. So you can like pick it up and pop it with your one hand and go ahead and fire. Go down the path a little bit more. Let's see what else I can get. All right, Lomography Purple does some weird color shifts. You know, greens go purple, maybe not quite as yellow sensitive, but everything else kind of shifts like on the color wheel drastically. So you may want to go to Lomography's website and see your color pattern and how it changes on you. What's that? Well, I just had a nice conversation with some people that were hiking the trail. So, you know, while you're out doing your thing, you know, feel free to chat with the locals, and they mentioned a couple different things I could take a look at. But to finish my my thought on the previous one, if you really want to see what the Lomography film can do, go to Lomography's website, and they had a picture of like a hot air balloon type of thing with different colors, and then shot on normal film, and the same thing shot with Lomography film, and the colors just kind of go really weird. So if you like really weird landscapes, especially seeing the greenery type stuff, you know, shift totally purple, this will be a film to try. All right, let me get some more shots. So this camera, like a previous Nikon, I did the Nikon EM, does have a mechanical shutter speed. So it does go from 1/1000th of a second to 8 seconds electronically timed. So if I've got a good battery in there, I can do some really long exposures. Might have to get a tripod and cable release to trip it. But it does have the M90 like the Nikon EM from a previous episode, which means that if my battery dies, shouldn't, I've only shot like 3 rolls of film on this battery, then at least I can dial it to mechanical 90 and have to do some manual corrections, because obviously I wouldn't have the meter at that point.
Sorry.
You're good. Okay, so I'm at the end of my roll. I'm at shot 35, so I was down a shot, and that's probably because how I load it. When I typically load an old manual film camera and, you know, hook it up to the spindle, I tend to go maybe one extra advance, just to make sure that film has gone one complete loop around the take-up spindle. I've had some film, and I've seen other photographers have their film slip off the spindle and never advance. So I'm just a little extra cautious. And if I lose the shot, I lose a shot, but I'd rather lose a shot than, you know, lose the entire roll of film, especially with some specialty film like this. All right, so I'm going to rewind it. Again, this camera has a pressure pin at the bottom, so I'm going to push and hold it down, that way it doesn't actually pop out on me. And I'm going to rewind it, and as many shots as you took is about as many rewinds as it'll take, meeting soft tension, and eventually you'll feel it let go like it just did. Now, a lot of Nikon cameras have a locking pin, so you can't accidentally pull your lever up to pop the door. Just a little pressure pin. You kind of slide it, and you can lift it up, and then pop it open, and there you go. Take out my roll of film, Lomo Purple. So I'm going to have the images posted at the tail end. If you like them, give them a thumbs up. If you like the film, if you shot the film, feel free to comment on your own, you know, results with this. Share it if you learned something new, and that way, you know, other people can also learn new stuff. And I'll see you next episode.